Hey guys, Orly here, founder of LifeVestInside, and I want to thank each and every one of you for deciding to kick off your week with me on the weekly Kindness Kickoff with Orly, coming at you every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where I do a reading from my book, Kindness Boomerang, How to Save the World and Yourself Through 365 Daily Acts. And then I give all of us, including myself, a really exciting kindness challenge based on the reading. Kindness Boomerang, for those of you that don't know about the book or don't have a copy and want to get one, here's where you could get one. You get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Books A Million, IndieBound, iTunes. The book itself is a lesson-a-day book in kindness. For every single day of the year, there is an act, an inspirational quote, and then a short reflection on the power of paying it forward, giving you simple ways in order to incorporate a kindness mindset and culture into your daily life. So you could check it out, and all the proceeds from the book go directly to our nonprofit, LifeVestInside, which is on a mission to inspire, empower, and educate people of all backgrounds to lead a life of kindness. It makes for a really amazing book, especially with the holiday season coming up. Definitely check it out. Before we get into the reading for today, just a couple of announcements. As always, you guys can subscribe. We have 2 newsletters, and I'd love to invite you to subscribe to one or both of our newsletters. One is called The Daily Kind, and it goes out every Monday through Friday, and it has within it an act of the day, a positive affirmation, a quote, and then a kindness media, showing you something positive that's going on in the world. Because if we train our eyes to start seeing the good, more good is reflected back at us. So you can definitely check out The Daily Kind. And then, of course, there is the Kindness Flash, which goes out once a month in the very beginning of the month, and it's to do with a specific theme around kindness. This month's theme is the month of generosity. And so every single month we send out this newsletter that has within it the act of the month, the song of the month, the book of the month, thoughts of the month, a story of the month, a talk of the month, and so on and so forth. Content that we create and also that we curate, putting it together for you to really give you some exciting things to look up about, articles to read, and so on and so forth. So check out the Kindness Flash. You could subscribe for one or both of our newsletters right on our website. Just go to LifeVestInside.com. And then in the top right corner, there's a button that says sign up. Click it. And when you do, you'll have the option there to sign up for one or both of our newsletters. You can also check out our YouTube shows, our Facebook shows, coming at you Mondays, like I said, the weekly Kindness Kickoff with Orly, 9 a.m. And then Wednesdays is the Kindness Flash with Jason and Orly, where Jason and myself and a guest as well discuss the monthly theme based on the Flash. So definitely check that out. Wednesdays also at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm so super pumped. We just hit 103,000 subscribers onto our YouTube channel. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at LifeVestInside. I want to thank you all for your support, for your continued support. I love reading the comments on there. It really, truly means a tremendous amount to me. Please reach out with any feedback that you would like to give me. I want to give one big shout out again to our Dance for Kindness group leaders. As you guys know, Dance for Kindness was last week, but as I'm seeing more pictures coming in and the videos coming in, it absolutely blows my mind to see what these amazing volunteer group leaders have been able to put together in their city. And you guys can also check it out for next year. You can register as a group leader for next year's event. And you can check all of that information out on the danceforkindness.com website. All right, now getting into the reading. So the reading for today comes from November 24th. And the act is, I happen to really, truly love this. The act is, make a list of everything you love about your best friend and give it to him or her to read and preserve forever. The quote, things spoken can be forgotten and forgiven, but the written word has the power to change the course of history, to alter our lives. And the reflection, it's those who are closest to us that need to hear our appreciation the most. Years have passed, but one of my former students still kept the letter I'd written to him when he was my student. He told me that he continued to open it year after year anytime he started to lose hope. I couldn't believe that a few moments I spent years ago would give him a reason to continue pushing forward years later. This is so true, this concept of when something is spoken, things spoken can be forgotten and forgiven, but the written word has the power to change the course of history and to alter our lives. It's very, very true, and I can tell you that just based on my own experience, and I may have shared this with you guys in the past, but one of my most valued possessions, my most valued possession, is 5 books of letters that I received from students over the course of the years. Back when I was a teacher, I would get letters from my students all the time, writing just these notes and pages of letters sometimes, sharing how what I've done has impacted them and has touched them, has inspired them. And at some point I said, you know what, I don't want to lose these letters. And I took all of them and I started putting them into a book. And I ended up with 5 of these huge books of letters from my students. And I can tell you, why is it my most valued possession? Because I think we always sometimes question, we all come to a point in our life where we question our worth, our matter, whether we really left an impact, where we left an imprint on this world. Those letters, when I read them, I cannot tell you the amount of energy that it infuses me with. Like I said, it is my most valued possession. I personally love writing thank you letters to people. I just bought a whole bunch of thank you letters for all the people that have been so generous and giving through this Dance for Kindness event here in my city. And it was one thing to just, send a text message or an email. But when you actually take the time to handwrite something, it really does make an impact and it really does make a difference. And it stays with someone. So over the course of this week, let's all think about someone in our life that's really impacted us, whether it's your best friend or a family member, and write down the things about them that make you love them. I did a project with my students, I'll never forget this, and I did it every single year during my years teaching. And at the end of the year, we would go around. It was very, very sad. Always at the end of the year, I would cry when my students would leave, but I knew that they're moving on to the next phase of their life. But I wanted to leave them with something that they would remember forever, because over the course of the year, it was always about helping them connect with one another, help them see past the labels, and be able to see that we all have insecurities and we all have our amazing qualities about ourselves, and we have to recognize that and realize it. And so what I would do at the end of the year is I'd basically distribute postcards to each one of the kids, or a page, because some of them was very big classes, and they'd write their name at the top of the page. And then we would go around throughout the classroom, and everyone would have about 60 seconds to write something about the person whose postcard they received, whose name they received, something positive that they learned from them. And before they would do it, I would go around the class and tell each student something positive that I've learned from them. And then after everybody wrote on each other's postcard, I would distribute this to the students to keep with them as a memento. And I have to tell you that so many students have come to me and said, you have no idea how much I love this card, how much I love it, how much I read it, and how much it empowers me when I'm not feeling so great about myself. The written word is very, very powerful. And so take the time over the course of this week, whether it be to write a letter to somebody, or, like it says, making a list of all of the positive things you love about your best friend, the things that you've learned from them, and give it to them. We all need those reminders of why people feel that we're important to them, because we all have those days where we sometimes feel a little bit low on ourselves. By simply acknowledging the things that you might say, but they know I love this about them. They know that I'm crazy about them. They know that we might think that somebody knows, but sometimes it's important for us to have something physical in our hands that we can look at to remind ourselves. So take the time this week to head out there and to physically put down on paper what those things are. Let's make people feel special. Let's make people feel loved. I'll never forget, this was about 2 years ago, I got a WhatsApp message from one of my students, and I get these all the time. And whenever, at the end of every month, I would do a raffle in my class, and I would give out these prayer books to my students, because I worked in a Jewish school, in a Jewish day school. And within the book, I would write a little note to my students in the very, very beginning. Every month, a different person would win, and I would write them a letter. One of my students sent me a WhatsApp message with a picture of her book, of her Siddur. Siddur is a prayer book. And she said, Orly, I want you to know, I read your letter every single day before I get up and I pray, and it fills me with so much energy. Something that I took how long did it take me? 3 minutes to write a letter from my heart to hers, and yet years later, this is like 12 years later, she's still reading from it. It's still impacting her. So never ever lose sight of the power of the written word. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the Kindness Kickoff with Orly. And I'm looking forward to hearing about how you're incorporating this specific act into your life this week. I want to hear the feedback. So let me know. Feel free to reach out to me. You could always email me at orly@lifevestinside.com. And I hope you guys continue to join me every Monday for the weekly Kindness Kickoff with Orly. Love you all tons, and have an amazing, amazing week filled with loads and loads of kindness. Bye. Mwah.